Alright guys, just thought I would start us out over here today at the garden, checking out the garlic, and we've got some strawberries planted there in the middle of the garlic, and that'll eventually run on around. And I'll tell you what, we didn't think that those strawberries are going to make it when we transplanted them. I think they got a little bit too much water. Rained quite a bit right after we put these guys in. We had them in buckets from when we had a container garden before we moved here, and once we transplanted them, they really didn't do too well. Leaves got red, rotted, and they have bounced back nicely over the last 2 weeks, and so they're doing really good. And man, this garlic is impressive. I've got a feeling we're going to have some pretty big bulbs of garlic at the end of the year. We've got 2 different varieties, and so it'll be interesting to see what we get out of here. Garlic's doing well. Onions are coming up. Radishes are looking great. Beets are coming on in. Starting to grow a little bit. We'll actually eat some of the greens off of that. And the potatoes are starting to come up as well. And we've got 2 different kinds of potatoes in here. We've got your regular old reds, and then we've got some Kennebec. And they're coming up pretty nicely. You can see them down the rows there. Some more here. Look on down through there, you can see potatoes coming up. And peas are in the rows. And you might look over there and chickens are out. Got a little crate set up, had an extra dog crate, and we just kind of moved that around, let them out for 15, 20, 30 minutes here and there. They enjoy it, but as soon as I open that door up, they head on back in the coop. So they're happy chickens, laying still about a dozen a week between the 2 of them, and we eat about 2 dozen a week. So once our other chickens get going, they'll be good to go. Kiwi's doing good. Deer have managed to not find it, so you can see there we're looking pretty good. That was the male kiwi. Gotta have a male and a female, and these are Arctic kiwi, so they only really put out a kiwi about the size of the tip of your pinky or your thumb. And went ahead and trained this back up here using some tape that is specific for this purpose. You can find it at really any old store, Lowe's, Home Depot, anybody's got a garden center. So you can see, we're getting to the point where we've got about a foot more to go before we reach the trellis here. So pretty excited about that. Had the opportunity to taste some of these last summer, and the orchard that I was at that had them running, this guy probably had a 30-foot span of nothing but just great kiwi. Apple tree is doing great. This guy is going to be absolutely loaded with apples. Take a look. I'm going to have to go in here and thin pretty heavily, because we do not need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 apples out of that bunch right there. So these are going to be thinned by hand. I'm not sure how the commercial guys do it, but this tree next winter is going to get another heavy pruning. But you can see, this is going to be a fruiting monster. And I still don't know what the variety of this tree is. Hopefully maybe somebody will watch this that can help me identify it. I've got a few ideas as to who I can contact, and hopefully through some of this documentation, people will be able to help me out with identifying this apple tree. But you can kind of get the size here. We're probably at least 15 to 20 feet tall, and that bad boy was a good 25 feet tall, and it got a bad haircut, but I just didn't get finished. But it'll be okay till next year. It just looks funky. And this one over here is doing pretty good. Didn't get a ton of blooms on it, but kind of figured that. Not a big deal. We expected that this year. Pawpaw and jujube. Go ahead and just give you a quick look. And today really should have been a work day for me. It's Saturday. But woke up to a good bit of rain. And it's been raining off and on all day, and it's cold, and I'm only a month out of pneumonia, and I would just really prefer not get it again. Leaves on this pawpaw. Still one little itty bitty one at the bottom of this one. You can't see it in the video here. The laying jujube. And all 4 of these plants came from Edible Landscaping up in Afton, Virginia. If you're in the area, they do something at least once a month. They've even got work days where you can go up and help them out 1 day a month, and for every hour that you work, they give you store credit. And that's how I got all of this. I got these 4 trees on store credit, and I'm telling you what, the experience I got while I was there, I would have just taken that. But Mike's a good guy, got a great staff, and he shows his appreciation through that. It's a hard day's work, but he's a great guy, and will also walk you around his orchard, give you a little education while you're there, and highly recommend it if you're in the area. I'm about 2.5 hours away from there, but I am more than willing to drive to get the experience. Neighbor's dog's loving this right now. Pears. This is the Bartlett. I came through this morning and thinned this out a little bit. Took about half off already. There was 6 in this little bundle right here. Obviously we don't want that much on this tree, and I'm gonna have to get a nice tall piece of bamboo until this tree gets a little bit stronger and have it staked up there. Kiefer is absolutely loaded with pears. And I did the same thing, came through, and this one took about every other one. Did quite a bit of that this morning before, kind of in between rains. I was in and out of the garage doing work. Got a couple weed eaters that aren't working right now, so I've got to figure that out. This pear, or this peach tree here, it's a Red Haven semi-dwarf, and it is absolutely loaded. And I went through and did about every other one of these. I am going to let this fruit a little, but I'm going to go ahead and prune about half more off of this from what you're seeing right here. So I'm going to kind of pick and choose what's looking good. The easiest way to do this, find some small ones, smaller than others. Go ahead and pick those off, maybe every other one, and just go from there. Anything looks diseased, dead, dying, go ahead and cut that off. Came through, prune this up a little bit today. Had some intergrowing branches. No peaches on this though. This is the Bella Georgia, and I really just, I think this one had a hard summer last year. Didn't expect anything off of that. Golden plum. You can see these little guys coming on. I think this tree's going to make it. This is the one that got attacked by the deer. I do have to tie it up a little bit, give it a little bit better shape. Will not let that fruit very much at all, if any. And the methylene. This one needs some support. Not a big enough tree to support kind of its weight right now. Got a little bit too top vigorous. And I will probably go ahead and tie this one up this coming up week. Got a few plums on here. Not a lot. I think I can count 2 right now. That's okay. And then these guys, they're doing great. I'm telling you, we're getting some great growth off of these 2 trees. And these are 2 trees that were planted right around Mother's Day last year, maybe a little bit later than Mother's Day. We've got a few peaches on there. Not a lot. Wasn't quite sure how these were going to make it, but they did. And they're absolutely doing great. Pomegranate is officially, I think, dead. We can call that the one loss of the year so far. And talked to the guy over at Lowe's today. Had to return a couple lawnmower tires I had bought that didn't fit. And he said, go ahead and pull it up out of the ground, bring it back. And as long as I paid for it on the almighty plastic, then we'd be good to go. And he could just look it up through my card. So that's about it, guys. It's a nice, chilly April Saturday. Things are looking good. Chickens are having a blast. And life is good, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good one.